CQ, CQ is all 5, my drag is Sierra, Q is all 5, my drag is Sierra. Calling CQ, the Migrant House State Park, North Texas.
Victor Echo 3, Zulu November.
Greetings, Daryl here, KG5MDS, 2 wheels and 10 watts, and today I want to give a brief overview for new people to the Parks on the Air program about the Parks on the Air website that's on Facebook and the parksontheair.com site. So briefly, let me start first because it'll be quick and easy with the Facebook page. If you're not using the Facebook page, don't know why I got that up there. If you're not using the Facebook page, there's a couple of cool features on there that you'll really like. And they're not really features. They're just things that members use it for. And the first is, of course, activation announcements. It's nighttime now, but usually there's more toward the top of the page. There's one from yesterday. And so if you go to the Facebook page, you'll find a lot of people will say, hey, I'm on my way to activate, or I am activating, I'm currently activating, I'm on the air, whatever. You'll find a lot of information like that, and you can get some pretty good feedback. Here, Zach Smith says, hey, I'm setting up at K3041. I'm in Texas. You see his call sign, K5WZS. Frequencies in comments. The reason he does that instead of in the header is because he's going to change frequencies throughout his activation. So you scroll into the comments and you see what he's currently on. He probably, obviously, he has cell phone coverage there. So if you're on 20 and he's on 40, hey, Zach, are you going to try 20 soon? I'd like to try 20, and then he might switch to 20 meters and such. So activation notices, and the instant feedback it provides, that's one of the cool features that people use the Facebook page for. Another feature that everyone likes to use, or that I don't want to say everyone, but that's out there, is just answering questions. Here, Brian asked about a vertical portable antenna, and you can see he's got 32 comments, and he posted it yesterday, so it's about 30 hours or so old. So you can see that you get a lot of responses. Chances are, whatever your question is, someone in the Parks on the Air community has had something similar and can give you some answers and stuff. So just getting general knowledge and general feedback on some things is a great feature of the Facebook page. So if you're not using Facebook page, you're missing out on that. And probably one of the last things I want to mention is, let me scroll down. Here we go. Feedback from the admins, and it usually comes in a couple of different forms. Sometimes, very rarely, but they'll want to clarify some rules or something like that. 9 out of 10 times, it's usually like this announcement. Hey, here's the most recent awards, and the other thing that they'll put out there a lot of times, hey, here are our newest members that have joined and stuff. So if you're not using the Facebook page, I'd encourage you to do so. Okay, now let's go to the parksontheair.com page. This is obviously more direct to us, and we're looking at the home page right now, and I want to show you a couple of things on here. First off is all of the regional coordinators. Here are their names and what region they cover. My call sign is KG5MDS, so I'm in the 5 region. Gerald Donald is my regional coordinator. That's who I send all my activation logs into. And you'll send them to here. Just look on QRZ and you can get their email. So you'll send them to who's ever in your area, and that's how the process goes for uploading your logs. You send them to the regional coordinators and they'll get them inputted into the system. Okay. The other thing I want to do, and Jason doesn't pay me here. He's not, I'm not endorsed to do this, but look at the donate button over here. And if you get a chance, they put a lot of time and effort into this. So please, if you can, throw a little bit of a monetary appreciation their way and such. Now, across the top are the main headings and stuff. The Oh, in the shop, you can click. I'm not going to click on every heading. I just want to briefly show. But if you need some T-shirts and things like that with parks on there, go to the shop. Okay, maps of entities. You click on map, you bring up a map of all the entities, and you can zoom in and find your area of the country and find the parks that are nearby. The other way you can do it is through this activator locator. Now, for some reason tonight, my activator locator is not working. It can't find where I'm at, so it's hard for it to say these are the parks nearby. But usually, and I'm sure it's on my end, but usually when you click on activator locator, it will show you, hey, these are the parks in your area. You can also click on list, and I'll show you a brief function of this that's kind of neat as my internet roars over like thundering turtles to the list page. Here we go. So here's the list page, all of the different ones. I mean, this is everyone, but if I just want to see the Texas one, I can put USTX in the search field and hit enter, and hopefully it should change here. Yep, it did. So now I've got a list of all the ones in Texas. I'm going to show you a cooler place, though, to look for that, but I want to show it to you there as well. Rules and registration. I'm not going to go into any of that, but here's where they're at. So that tells you how to register, and that tells you your rules. I'm going to come back to the dashboard in a minute. The awards page, again, self-explanatory. You can go down and scroll through and see all the different awards that are offered for activating and chasing and stuff. And there's a lot of them. Okay. Parks on the Air scheduler. This just gives you for future activations and stuff. I don't use this a lot, but some people do. Obviously, you can see stuff here from like, hey, this is where I'll be on the 22nd of March. Okay. So it's a nice little feature if you like using that. Let me see. I'm going to come back to the spots page in a minute. I already talked about the shop, and obviously contact us as a way to reach the admins. Dashboard login. Let's go to it real quick. I've already logged in, but up here you can see a lot of different features. Find the parks near me, leaderboards for activators and hunters, and you can see them here and such. Activity, park stats. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. My stats. That's kind of neat. I can come in, click on my summary, and I can see different features here, the different states I've done activations in and how many, and then I could get the details if I wanted to. This is just activations, all of my activations kind of listed out and such. And the cool feature about this is I can click on any of these headers and it'll sort it by that column. So if I want to sort it alphabetically, I'm going to click on park name. Boom. Now I've got all my activities sorted by alphabetical list. If I want to do it by the park reference number, I can do it that way as well. Any of these headings you can click on and see it sorted by that way. Same thing with hunted. These are my places that I've hunted, and these are my park-to-park contacts. So all of these, the cool feature I really like here is that, again, you can sort through any of these column headings and stuff. Now, that also brings me to, if I will go to park stats and go to stats by location. Okay, let's say you're in Texas and you're new. So you want to see, hey, what are the parks in Texas? So you come down here and you can do it like I showed you before. But if you go to this page and do it and click submit, you get it with these headings. So now I can sort it by alphabetical name here, and I can go down and look, or I can sort it by the park number. Okay. But come over here to the right, see activations, can click on activations. Hey, we've only got 3 parks that haven't been activated. So we've almost activated all the stats, all the parks, I should say. What's important, or not what's important, but a cool feature about this is, let's say you're going to go to one of these. I'm going to go back to alphabetical. And there we go. Let's say you want to go to Abilene State Park in a few weeks. And you're like, well, Okay, so you find Abilene State Park and you can tell that, hey, there's 4 activations there. So now you know that it's been activated 4 times, and you can tell that, okay, it may be fairly friendly to activation. Only 5 people have attempted it and 4 of them were successful. If I click on activations in total here and sort it in descending order, if I lived in Dallas, Fort Worth, Ray Roberts Lake State Park, okay, there's been 47 attempts and 45 successful activations. So that's a pretty ham-friendly activation place park to go set up and do. So that might be one if I was a newcomer in Dallas, Fort Worth, and it was close to me, I could say, hey, I think I'll go to Ray Roberts State Park. Now, if one of the close by ones is one of the zeros, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not ham-friendly. It just means that maybe somebody hasn't been out there and tried to activate it yet. Now, it could mean that it's not as friendly. I mean, I know back during 2016 for National Parks on the Air, someone did the White House lawn activation. Now, if you just went up there individually and tried to do it, probably wouldn't reach too much success. So anyway, so I did want to show that. That's a great tool that you can use to see how successful parks are and sort them out in your area and things like that. Okay, let's go back to the home page, and now I want to talk about spots. Okay, now spots are great. You want to use them every time you go out, and I'll show you how to do that. You just come in here, you click on Parks on the Air spots, and there it lists spots. Okay, now the only one up here is a test one that I did, and I'm going to talk to you about that in just a minute. So, but when you click on new spot, here's what you do. You put in, if you're spotting yourself, put in, so I put in KG5MDS. You put in who the activator is. Okay, I'm activating, so I put in KG5MDS again. Frequency. This time I'm going to put 14.230. Or no, let me change it. Let me put in 7.250. Okay. Now, the reference here, normally you would put in the K number and the park. Okay. I'm putting in K test. Okay. And I'll put in not actually on the air, just testing K test. Okay. So again, put in K test, and I don't have to do a park. Now, if I go back to spots, there is my K test notice that I just put in. Look, not actually on the air, just testing K test. Okay. This is a great feature that Jason and the admins put in that allow you, if you're going to go out, let's say in 2 weeks, you're going to make your first activation and you want to go test your equipment. So you're going to go set up in your backyard. You're going to go set up down the street at a city park or something like that. It's not an official park, but you want to kind of spot yourself and let the other Parks on the Air people know that you're doing a test. Then for the reference, put in K-test and it will show up on the spots page. Okay. Now make sure if you're actually on the air, put, hey, I'm actually on the air, or in my case, I wasn't, so I put not actually on the air. Put something in the comments if you're doing a K test to let people know that yes, you're on the air, no, you're not. Don't assume that they'll just see it and try to reach you, because they may be thinking like this, hey, I'm just testing the spotting system or something like that. But anyway, a lot of people don't know about the K test function. It's a great place to put in. Here's my first one here, not on the air, just testing the system. I did that right before I started the video. Then there's this one here. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed these videos. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see others. I'm going to try and make another one coming up pretty soon about just some tips and techniques for activating. So that's it. KG5MDS, Daryl, for 2 wheels and 10 watts, 73.